We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phalen, a weekly program on LSN television right here in Lancaster, and also our friends on a number of radio affiliates throughout Fairfield County and beyond, and do appreciate our viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. And back by popular demand is Chief Dave Bailey with the Lancaster Police Department. Glad to have you back, Chief.
Thanks for the invite. Apparently we did okay the last time, so I got to come back for another show.
Well, you always help the ratings.
Thank you.
Anyway, before we get started, I wanted to mention that there is going to be a Christmas program coming up at Fairfield Christian Church, coming up December 7th, 8th, and 9th. We're going to be producing The Gospel According to Scrooge, and this is an adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Story. We've been working on this since summer, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's absolutely free, and guess who's playing Scrooge?
I heard a rumor who it might be.
Yeah, it's me.
Congratulations, Scrooge.
And you know, they had some tryouts, but I think that they selected more on age. Because the other people were kind of age and kind of a little senile there, and maybe a grumpy personality, so I don't know how they...
So you're the lead character?
I'm the lead character. Have you ever been in any plays or anything like that?
I have been, but I've never been the lead character, and I could only imagine how many lines you had to learn. And by the way, do you know your lines?
I know most of them. They threw last Sunday. We've been doing a lot of rehearsals Sunday afternoon. Well, there was a new song that they introduced that I'm going to be a part of.
You're going to sing?
Well, that's the problem.
Wow.
Because I've got a good bathroom voice, but not a good stage voice. In fact, it was funny because there was like a person was kind of helping, you know, because I really am just an awful singer. And so they said, well, this person can kind of coach you along, and it's really not that tough. And so we spent some time, and she was kind of going through it, and I, you know how you always kind of sound pretty good to yourself, and so we were about a half hour into it, and she said, maybe you better just talk through the songs. So, so that's what we do. I talk through the songs, but it's going to be a great program. We have a large cast. And like I said, people can show up. They can get tickets ahead of time. And again, it's going to be December 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they're going to have a matinee at 3 o'clock Sunday, and then the other time will be 7 o'clock, both that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So certainly our viewers and listeners, we would invite you. It's going to be a great family night. It's a lot of fun. It's a great play. It's a lot of song, some dance, some comedy, and certainly a lot of serious components to it.
I'm impressed that you would take the time to be the major character. Plus, that's a lot of performances, so you're going to have to be ready.
It started out, there was 36 pages of script.
Of just your lines?
Well, I'm in all the scenes. Well, I guess I'm in all the scenes now that I've kind of gone through that. So there's scenes where there's a lot. There's some scenes where there's just a few lines. But it was very, I knew it was going to be a tough thing to memorize all those lines. So I've been working on that. I had a little tape recorder I carry around if I'm jogging or at the gym or something. I'm listening to it over and over again. So I've got probably 95% of it down.
Well, congratulations. Just by way of explanation, our library director here in Lancaster, Marilyn Steiner, put on a fabulous play back during the Lancaster Festival. It was a trial, kind of a play all about a trial, And I had a small part in it, very small part. Somehow I managed to forget my lines, even with a very small part in it. So you're going to do better, I think.
Well, and a lot of it is if you do this enough over and over and over again, you feel pretty confident you're going to remember it. And you know what? Even if they're wrong, there's not many people who are going to know it. So we'll kind of get through it. Okay, lots of things going on in the Lancaster Police Department. We've got certainly the holidays coming up, and that creates a lot of extra. I don't know if work's the word for it, but certainly additional responsibilities as the crowds come to the malls and the shopping centers.
Absolutely. We like to talk to folks about parking their cars. You know, we've talked before in other shows, and you and I have talked a lot about Lancaster being a safe community, but you know, we're not immune to theft, and especially petty theft from motor vehicles. So during the holidays when folks are out at the mall, you're busy, you have a lot of things in your car, you have gifts, you have personal possessions, and even though we say it every year, it's important to reinforce it. Please don't have those things out in plain view in your cars, especially your electronic equipment. You know, people forget about the GPS that's up on the dashboard or attached to the window, your laptop, all the various electronic items, your cell phone. Although most people don't separate themselves from their cell phone, nonetheless they could be in the car. The presents and the gifts belong in the trunk, out of view, because we do have folks that specialize in wandering through the parking lots, trying doors, hoping for that unlocked car, or smashing the window if they must. Get the gifts out and they're on the run in no time. Very difficult case to solve, much easier to prevent, Sheriff, and much easier if folks will just keep those items out of view. A lot of folks now have concealed carry permits, and they're a little concerned about where can they carry their gun and where can they not. So sometimes the gun ends up in the car. Very bad place for your gun. If someone breaks in just to get your Christmas presents and gets the bonus of a firearm, that's bad for everybody.
Right, and these individuals primarily are opportunists.
Absolutely.
Many of them are dependent on drugs, and that's kind of their motivation to be out here breaking in cars and those kind of things. And you know, talking about that, the other thing, just to remind the ladies out there, when they're distracted, maybe they put the purse on the hood of the car, the trunk of the car, where they're getting the baby in the car. Maybe they have a shopping cart and they're walking down the aisle. Again, just have to be careful, diligent, be aware of your surroundings.
You really do, and sometimes when people are trying on clothes or looking at various items, they'll put some of their personal property down on the floor in the store and maybe wander around the particular sales area. Not a good idea anymore. It might have been okay 30 years ago, but as you say, there are opportunists watching, and especially during the holidays, all shopping malls attract this kind of attention, so better to prevent it than try to solve it afterwards.
Now, you and I, we've talked about this a number of times. We kind of went to the same elementary school in the east side of Columbus, Ohio, the Eastmore district out there.
Longer ago than both of us care to discuss, but that is true, very true.
Yeah, so we have a lot of, and you were talking about some of your early memories with the Columbus Police Department, and how one time you were sick or you hit your head, and the police department actually took you to the doctor.
That was a long time ago, and you know, as very normal in those days, there was a one-car household. So my dad would have had the car during the day, and he would have driven to work, and I would have been home with my mom and my sister. No car. So somehow, as young boys managed to do, Sheriff, somehow I fell off some patio furniture or something, bumped my head. I realize that could explain a lot today, but we won't get into that. And my mom calls. We needed to go to the doctor, and in this case, we didn't even go to the hospital. This is how long it was ago. A Columbus police vehicle showed up, two really courteous Columbus policemen. You know, I forgot all about my head hurting. I was so impressed by these Columbus policemen that I just kind of looked up to them. So they drive my mom and I over to the doctor's office. Very courteous guys, get my mom into the doctor's office, and whatever happened there. But it's one of those things you don't forget, and I think it had a lot to do with the admiration that I started developing for the law enforcement profession.
At what point in your life did you decide you wanted to be a police officer?
I think I always wanted to. I always viewed it as an honorable profession. And of course we know, law enforcement isn't a profession where you're going to get rich. It's certainly not about the money, but it's the service to others, and I think just the excitement of the job, the esprit de corps, and the friendships and things you develop. But I think all my life I wanted to do it. Undoubtedly, those cheesy shows from the 1950s and 60s played a role in it, but it all led to a good result for me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I can remember as a youngster, I would see in the Columbus Police, they would pull up to a location. I'd see the guys, they had their white shirts and their dress blouses, and they'd go into a house. And I'd sit down and say, I wonder what's going on in that house. I was really kind of curious. And so I can honestly say, and I know you've been at this for a long time too, that I cannot think of a day that I really don't look forward to going to work. I felt like that when I was 22 years old and started, and I feel like it today.
I still do, and I think one of the things that's, as my career is kind of winding down now, I think about how important the people are that I work with, how long I've known them, what great people they are, what great family people they are, and how they've done well managing their lives, and how no matter what seems to happen at the Lancaster Police Department, they find a way to make things work. They really don't complain. I mean, we all complain a little bit. I mean, they just do what they have to do day in and day out. I'm very proud of them, and I think one of the best parts, I guess, about the kind of the final years of my career is the fact that I've been able to be chief and see kind of from the top view just how good that department is, and how hard those people work and how much they care. And I know it's tough for them sometimes, especially the folks who've been up all night without sleep and all the things they go through, but they're a great bunch.
Now, you've been the chief how long?
It's 5 years right now, Sheriff.
5 years, and you've got a pretty diverse background. I mean, as far as you've been a detective, were you in covert operations at one time?
I never was really that. I worked in the Detective Bureau, of course, in the Patrol Bureau.
Okay.
And I had patrol supervision experience and kind of a wide range of Lancaster police experience. And it's kind of nice because I've sort of seen the operation from all angles. And now, of course, I'm very proud to have the chief's job. And as I say, never do I take for granted how good that department is.
And so during the last 6 years, what are some of the things that you've implemented or changed that you're probably most proud of?
Well, I think one of the first things that we were able to do down there is get our communications opened up. We were kind of a closed-knit, kind of quiet, not real communicative group. I started off with our department bulletin, and it's been going for 5 years now, where every month what's going on in the department shows up in bulletin format, goes electronically to all of our members, goes up on a bulletin board, keeps officers in the loop, and also our civilian employees so they know what's going on. They know what people we're hiring, they know what's going on in terms of the budget. It's just been long overdue for that department. We were just a little bit too quiet.
Okay.
Kind of kept all our cards close to our vest, so this has opened up a lot of communications for us.
And you've had some police academies?
We had our Citizen Police Academy has continued. Our Alumni Association is new. It's something that formed during my time as chief. What a wonderful group of people they are. They
Well,
do
tell
so
us about
much.
what the Police Academy is for the viewers and listeners who may not know a lot about that.
Well, interestingly enough, we'll have one coming up in the fall of 2013, so I hope we get a good turnout for that. Essentially what it is, Sheriff, it's a condensed version of the Police Academy. It's not the full Police Academy, of course, but it's kind of like a condensed thumbnail version of what an officer would go through to get their training to serve on the street. And it gives them all kinds of experiences they typically wouldn't have. Firearms, interview, interrogation, laws of arrest, search, and seizure, a courtroom experience where they actually testify and take part in a trial. It's a really good opportunity for our citizens to get closer to us, and really importantly for us to get closer to them.
And how many citizens have gone through that?
We've had multiple incarnations of our academy. I think we're probably up to 200 people now that have actually gone through. And let me talk just for a moment about our Alumni Association. These are graduates who have actually been through the academy. They've decided to stay on and be part of a support group that really helps the department, and it's just absolutely tremendous what they do for us. They're always thinking of a new way to help. When we have some of our big events during the years, for instance, our drug drop-off, it's the Alumni Association members you see scurrying around doing all the work, and I can't thank them enough.
So there's a volunteer component to this after they've graduated?
There is. It's optional upon graduation. The alumni extends the offer for them to join the group, and not everyone does, but a lot do. And there's a core group of people in that Alumni Association that just really keep things going. And I could spend an entire show on how much they do.
So if someone's interested out there, a viewer or listener, how do they find out more about it, or how do they get involved?
If they would just give me a call at 687-6680, and my extension is 12, I would be glad to get them on the list, and we'll notify them when the next Citizen Police Academy is scheduled, and it's coming up in the fall of 2013. We would love to have them on board.
We're just about out of time, and so we'd like to have you back maybe early next year to kind of talk about some of the plans for 2013, as hard as that is to believe, and things going on next year, and so we would like to very much have you back.
Sheriff, I appreciate the opportunity.
Good to see you. The clock on the wall says we're just about out of time, and do appreciate certainly the folks here at Fairfield Christian Academy that help produce and put this program together each and every week. And kudos to you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. If you ever have a question of me or things going on within the Sheriff's Office, please give me a call. My direct number is 652-7252. That's 652-7252. Get calls each and every day, and certainly always glad to get calls from our community and get a lot of interesting questions, and have met a lot of wonderful folks right here in the county during the last 12 years as your sheriff. Well, until next week, same time, same place. If you're out there driving, please buckle up. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.